Time to pull up a chair. We've got another great story for you today in the rLounge. Is it better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all? Today in the rLounge, moments that make you question why you ever opened your heart or your door. Up first, they say when you move in with a partner, you're really moving in with all their baggage too. Would I be the a-hole if I kicked my boyfriend's sister out of our house? Obligatory, this is a throwaway account. I don't really use Reddit that much, but don't want people I know finding this. I, 25 female, have been with my boyfriend, 27 male, for 3 years, and he moved in with me last year. Everything was going great until last Christmas when his parents announced they were selling the family home and downsizing, but they wanted to go on one of those 6-month-long cruises around the world. Fine, whatever, they can do what they want, except they have a younger daughter, Emma, who is 18. Completely unbeknownst to me, my boyfriend had agreed to let Emma live with us until she moved away to university. This led to a lot of fights between my boyfriend and I, because I didn't want Emma living with us. Despite all this, she moved in after the house sold in February. It has been hell. For starters, our house might have 3 bedrooms, but only one was used as a bedroom. One is my home, and the other was a home gym for me and my boyfriend. Emma turned the gym into her room, and now a lot of our equipment is in storage. I hate having Emma here as she's a total brat and doesn't contribute anything to the house. Here's just a small list of crap I have to deal with. The second Emma turned 18, she was out with friends, coming back drunk at 3 a.m. and waking up my dogs as she clattered into the house, normally with an equally drunk friend. For the first month of her living with us, she would steal my stuff constantly. Skincare, hair care, perfume, clothes, anything. I now have a lockable box for toiletries so she can't get to them. She has lost 6 different sets of house keys since moving in, and I've had to have the locks changed twice due to various issues. She refuses to do anything I ask her to do because she's busy. She doesn't have a job. How is she busy? She refuses to eat anything I cook and will demand we order takeaway instead. I have asked her repeatedly for meal ideas, and even if I make the exact meal, she refuses to eat it as, "It doesn't taste right." The breaking point came last weekend when me, my boyfriend, and the dogs went away for the weekend. I was reluctant to leave Emma in the house by herself, but my boyfriend said it would be a great way for Emma to gain some independence before going to university. Big effing mistake. We came back in Sunday evening to a trashed house and a hungover Emma asleep in her room. I had to get a professional cleaner in on Monday to tackle the worst of the mess after I spent half the night cleaning. I'm done. I want her out of the house. I thought I could deal with this until she moved away in September, but I can't. Especially now that she's talking about putting her place on hold for a year so she can go traveling and use our house as a base. No, I want her gone and out ASAP. True, she has nowhere to go as her parents aren't back from their cruise until the end of August, but I don't care. I want her gone. I've talked to my boyfriend about this, and he won't budge because Emma is family and he can't kick her out. So would I be the a-hole if I kick her out? Edit. Forgot to mention this in the post. Maybe it wasn't clear. It's my house. I own it outright with no mortgage, and my boyfriend is not on any official documents. The only thing in his name is our Sky TV payments. Everything else is in my name as I lived here before he moved in. He does pay half towards bills, but he just sends the money to me each month. I'm going to try and talk to Emma and boyfriend's parents. I've sent them a text message asking to call me ASAP. I'm also reaching out to Emma and my boyfriend's older sister to see if she will take Emma in for a while. I doubt she will as they don't get along and she has a 2-year-old, but it's worth a shot. Edit 2. I am such a gosh darn idiot. Firstly, thanks to all the comments, I have realized that my boyfriend is not the person I want to be spending the rest of my life with. Secondly, I managed to have a video call with my boyfriend's parents and wow, just wow. First of all, they have been sending Emma 700 pounds a month to cover her living with us and I haven't seen a penny of it. Their mom mentioned that I could take the cleaner fee out of Emma's money, and I asked what money. She meant because Emma doesn't have a job. She laughed and said, "The 700 we've been sending Emma each month to cover all her expenses while she lives with you." They've been sending Emma money, and she was supposed to be giving this money to us to cover everything. Either Emma has been keeping it, or she's given it to my boyfriend, and he hasn't said a word. Surprisingly, her parents were furious that I haven't seen any of this money, and they are sending me a bank transfer of 4,200 pounds to cover the money Emma should have been giving us since February. They are sending it to my personal account, then I can do with it as I see fit. I was brutally honest on the call and said that I can't have Emma staying with us any longer. Yes, she might leave in September, But what if she doesn't get the results she needs for university and has to defer, or if she takes a gap year? I'm not putting up with this for another year. Their mom is going to talk to her sister and see if Emma can stay there until they get back at the end of August. For those wondering, yes, they have a house all lined up for when they return. They will not be living with us when they get back. I'm going to have a serious talk with my boyfriend this evening, and I'm now rethinking our whole relationship. If he tries to fight over Emma staying, then it's over. A lot of the comments in this post have made me realize that I've been a doormat to this man since Emma moved in. Also, I should have been charging him rent, and I'm not standing for it anymore. Wish me luck, helpful Reddit folks. Wish me luck. Let's see what some of the comments in the community have to say. First up, not the a-hole, but I think you need to kick the boyfriend out with her. He doesn't respect you at all. Secondly, not the a-hole. It's your house. I would have kicked them both out the second I found out he said it was okay without ever talking to you. 18 is old enough to know better. She's also not your problem. She is his problem. I would be seriously reconsidering this family and marriage long term, as boundaries don't seem to exist to begin with. One more comment. Not the a-hole. Kick both out. Does the sister even know this is your house? She might think it's her brother's, and that's why she acts as though she owns the place. Update. Hi everyone. I meant to post this on Monday, but I've been busy, so here it is now. Emma and my boyfriend, Tom for this update, both left last week and went to stay with their aunt. Emma is staying there until her parents are back. Tom was staying there for a week to give me space. Tom came around on Saturday evening so we could talk about our relationship and everything. Long story short, I broke up with him. Reading all the comments made me realize that I'd been walked all over by him and his sister for too long. Enough was enough. He's been back and forth over the last few days to get his stuff, and I think he's staying at a friend's house while he looks for a place to rent. Obviously, I'm sad about the breakup because I did think I'd spend the rest of my life with Tom, but this whole situation has made me realize that I need to be selfish and put myself first for once in my life. As for Emma, she's on a strict curfew and money will be sent to her aunt to cover her expenses. Her aunt has said she's on a 3-strike policy, but to be honest, I don't care anymore. Emma is not my responsibility and never actually should have been. The money Emma and Tom's parents sent to me has been used in 2 parts. Covering all expenses Emma racked up, like the cleaning bill, etc. And a very, very nice spa trip for me. Some friends are coming with me and we all can't wait. My parents are going to look after the dogs. I've booked myself a full body massage and a champagne afternoon tea. So yeah, that's the update. I'm now single and have my house back. Honestly, I couldn't be happier despite the breakup. Thanks to everyone who left comments and helped me find my backbone. Emma was never your responsibility. And it wasn't on you to fix her behavior or cover her choices. By drawing that line and saying enough, you prove to yourself that you're not going to let other people take advantage of you anymore. And the whole money situation? That's just confirmed you were right to take a step back. The fact that both Emma and your boyfriend were keeping that 700 pounds from you shows they weren't treating you with respect. And you refusing to tolerate that shows you know your worth. What's your craziest guest story you've had to deal with in your own home? Let us know below. Up next, trying to play Cupid is great, in theory. I, 21 female, set up a date between my 2 friends, 29 male, 25 female. Something went wrong that night and now my guy friend won't talk to me. I met my friend Chuck, 29 male, about 1.5 years ago. We were both part of an online local group for single parents, and eventually met offline with other group parents. I have known Britt, 25 female, since high school. Chuck's wife died of childbirth complications the day their daughter was born, more than 2 years ago. Britt is a few months out of a 9-year relationship. Both of them have expressed wanting to meet other people, and I thought they'd be good for each other because of common interests, and we all have kids of similar ages. 2 days before Christmas, Chuck and Britt went out on their first date. I kept Chuck's daughter at my house so the two could have some more time together without him having to worry about the baby. The plan was for her to spend the night. She's done it before and gets along with my 3-year-old girl. But Chuck knocked on my door at 11 p.m. to get his daughter. He barely said a word to me and I could tell he had been crying, but he wouldn't tell me what was wrong. The next day I asked Britt what happened. She said they had dinner and a couple drinks. Things were going excellent. She said she felt like they had great chemistry and were even getting physical at his house, but he suddenly told her to stop and to leave immediately. She swears that she has no idea what she did wrong and is really hurt by the whole thing. I believe her because she's really sweet and social. I've never seen her do anything to piss anyone off. I tried to talk to Chuck at the same time to get his side of the story and see what went wrong. All he said was he wasn't feeling it and didn't want to discuss it further. I didn't push it, but when I went to wish him a Merry Christmas a day later, I saw he had deleted me from his social media. I texted it to him instead and asked, "You okay?" But no response. I'm seriously hurt and don't know what to do. Chuck has become one of my closest friends, and our daughters are the best of friends too. I'm really worried that this has something to do with his wife, and I want to apologize if he felt like I was pressuring him to date after her death. At the same time, I don't want to overstep boundaries and bother him when he's having a hard time. It's been over a week, and I'm worried and upset. Too long didn't read. I set my two friends up on a date. Things were apparently going well until my guy friend suddenly called off the date. He has now deleted me from his social media and will not talk to me. Now let's see if the relevant comments have anything to add. First up, Chuck's daughter will be a constant reminder of his late wife. He still hasn't finished grieving and or isn't ready to move on. Guilt about enjoying female company and getting physical contact will be huge. He would feel he has to hide emotions from his daughter about his late wife. He has locked them away and is doing the same thing now. Give him time and let him know you are there when he is ready. The OP replies, I completely agree with you and will be giving him plenty of space for a while before I try to talk to him again. Thank you. We've actually talked about the constant reminder thing. Little Chuck looks exactly like his wife, and apparently it is getting harder instead of better because of that. I kind of feel like a jerk for being offended by him not speaking to me. I can't imagine that pain. The next commenter says, it sounds like he's not ready to be dating, and he's displacing that guilt on you as you were the one who set it up, with completely good intentions, and now he feels you're responsible for how he feels. My suggestion would be to wait it out. It could take some time, weeks or months. If you continue to contact him often, it will only make worse and push him away. I would let it clear. A couple weeks, and maybe once more, reach out with an apology again, saying your friendship and each other's daughter's friendship means a lot to you. If he cold shoulders you again, you need to move on. Unfortunately, life is a set of friendships that passes as our lives continue where they need to head. The OP replies, that's what my gut was telling me. I just wanted to make sure that I was doing enough. Hopefully he'll come around because I've gotten really attached to him and his kid. It would be so sad to never see them again. And another commenter adds this. He realized you considered him a friend. He clearly expected more. Edit. Someone mentioned that Chuck may be in love with me, but deleted the comment. I still want to address that. He's almost a full decade older than me, and he has never expressed those feelings for me at all. In fact, the week before he cut me off, he said that I was a great friend and he was happy that his daughter had some female figures in her life. And again, the commenter says, I'm the one who mentioned he might be expecting romance with you, and I didn't delete the comment. I got downvoted into oblivion. Edit. Someone mentioned that Chuck may be in love with me, but deleted the comment. I still want to address that. He's almost a full decade older than me and has never expressed those feelings for me at all. In fact, the week before he cut me off, he said that I was a great friend and he was happy that his daughter had some female figures in his life. You mean like a new mom? A great friend just needs a little intimacy and mutual attraction to become a significant other. Common interest, trust, respect are already there. Read the signs. Being a decade older never prevented men to be romantically interested in younger ladies. The fact you use it as a demonstration might indicate you don't want to see he may be into you while still mourning his wife. That's perfectly legit. But people feeling rejected might try stuff, like dating your friend, and or cut the relationship. I'd say the biggest problem with the sub is that it is always one-sided, and people sometimes cannot be fully aware of the other people's signs and communication. It's still a theory. Edit 2. Thanks for all of your advice, everyone. I think I will give it another week before I speak with him again. If he hasn't reached out by then, I will tell him that I am still here if he needs to talk, but I will continue to give him space if he needs that too. I'm almost 100% sure that this happened because of his wife's death. Another one of my friends who is still on his Facebook saw that he had changed his cover photo several times since Christmas, and all of them were from his wedding. Update 10 days later. Chuck finally contacted me 2 days ago. He apologized for unfriending me and not talking to me. As many of you said, he was embarrassed by what happened on the date and even angry at me for setting them up. She completely lied to me. He maintains that they went to dinner and had drinks, but then he says Britt got completely crap-faced and was trying to get him to have sex in the parking lot. When he said no, she got very aggressive to the point where he made her get out of the car and got her a cab. Once he knew she was gone, he went to my place to get his daughter and was so pissed off at me he couldn't talk to me about it. Of course, I apologized profusely and told him I didn't know that she was like that at all. He doesn't blame me and said I didn't need to be sorry. So we're cool now. I confronted Britt yesterday. All I said was that Chuck told me a different version of events. She started crying and admitted to everything all on her own. She asked if I could ever forgive her, and I said yes, but I'm not sure if I was telling the truth. I'm not sure if I should keep Britt as a friend. I'm really disgusted by her behavior, and I know that if the sexes were reversed, I would stay the hell away from her. Too long didn't read. My friend Chuck cut contact with me because I set him up with a bad drunk. We're cool now, though, and I'm not sure what to do about Britt. Now let's see some more relevant comments. First up, wow, I've been waiting patiently for this update, but I definitely did not expect this. Sorry about your friend Britt, OP. I'm glad things between you and Chuck are okay now. The OP replies, me neither. I never would have guessed if he didn't tell me. Someone else follows on. You could just distance yourself for a bit. If I were you, it will definitely depend on her actions from here on. Is she really apologetic? Has she sent a sincere apology to Chuck? If yes, I will still maintain a friendship, but maybe not hang out with her too much for a while. It's still pretty annoying that she acted so stupidly and then lied to you afterwards. What for? I don't know, as if you wouldn't find out the truth sooner or later. But if she's a great friend otherwise, this is forgivable given time and good attitude on her part. At least now you know not to set her up anymore with any of your friends. The OP replies, totally with you on the lying. I'm super annoyed that this could have been solved way earlier with honest communication from everyone involved. She apologized for lying, but not anything else. Just excuses about how she acts when she drinks too much. Next person says, she got really aggressive. Make no mistake, that means she sexually assaulted him, regardless of how successful she was. In that context, his response makes total sense. I'd drop her. Edit. She apologized for lying, but not anything else. Just excuses about how she acts when she drinks too much. This is a quote from you in another comment. That means it's not the first time she's assaulted someone. The OP replies, this is a quote from you in another comment. That means it's not the first time she assaulted someone. Holy crap. I don't know how I didn't catch that. Thank you. Another commenter says, I think perhaps before cutting Britt out of your life, you should straight out ask Chuck if he felt she was rapey or just a pushy drunk. Did he have to physically force her out of the car? Lots of guys call women names and act like a-holes when we refuse to have sex with them. But there's a huge difference between being a drunken jerk and a rapist. Did Chuck feel threatened by Britt or just offended and turned off by her? Chuck obviously doesn't want to go on a second date, but he may not feel you can't be friends with Britt. The OP replies, he felt threatened for sure. He said that the other day, and in hindsight, I could feel it when he came to my house that night. He had been crying and didn't want to talk to anyone for weeks. Man, you were just trying to do a nice thing and play matchmaker, and it blew up in the worst way possible. Chuck clearly wasn't ready for that kind of date to begin with, and then Britt went completely off the rails. No wonder he pulled away. At least now he knows you didn't set him up on purpose with a disaster, and you two are back on good terms. But honestly, Britt lying to you like that is the part that would stick with me. People make mistakes when they drink, sure, but doubling down and feeding you a completely different version of events? That's shady. I'd keep her at arm's length from now on. Ever played Cupid and had it go horribly wrong? Or been on the receiving end of someone else's matchmaking experiment? Share your stories with us in the comments. Thank you for joining us today in the rLounge. Be sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on our next video. Until next time. And please put your chair back where you found it.